Hi, friends. In chapter 11 of math, we've been talking all about geometry, which is the math of shapes. It's really important to learn about shapes because shapes are all around us. Everything is made up of a shape. So far, we've been talking about three-dimensional shapes or 3D shapes. Today in lesson 11.4, we're going to talk about two-dimensional shapes. Let's get started. I'll share my screen so you can follow along on my PowerPoint. Before we get into two-dimensional shapes, let's review what we already know about three-dimensional shapes. Three-dimensional or 3D shapes are fat shapes. They are fat because they have three dimensions. They have length, which is how long they are. They have width, which is how wide or fat they are, and height, which is how tall they are. Because these shapes have width or are wide and they are fat, that's what makes them three-dimensional or 3D shapes. The 3D shapes we know so far are cone, cylinder, cube, rectangular prism, sphere, and pyramid. These are all fat three-dimensional or 3D shapes. 3D shapes have characteristics. You can count the faces, edges, and vertices of 3D shapes. The first characteristic is this. This is a flat surface. The flat surface of a 3D shape is called a face. Many 3D shapes have lots of flat surfaces, but some 3D shapes don't have any flat surfaces. So it's really important that you hold and feel the shape to see if it's a face or not. If it's curved, it's not a face. It has to be a flat surface in order to be a face. The next characteristic is an edge. An edge is the line where two faces meet. So when two faces come together, it forms an edge. Many shapes have two faces, but they don't meet each other. The faces have to meet each other to form an edge. And the third characteristic is the corner or the vertex. The vertex is the point where the edges meet. So when many edges come together and form that point or corner, that point is called a vertex. Let's explore two-dimensional shapes now. Two-dimensional shapes or 2D shapes are flat shapes. They are not fat shapes. They are flat shapes. And they're flat because they only have two dimensions. They only have length, which is how long they are, and height, which is how tall they are. They don't have width. They are not wide, which is why they are not fat. They are flat shapes. 2D shapes also have characteristics. You can count the sides and vertices of 2D shapes. Here we have a side. This line right here that I traced in red is the side of this shape. It's one of the sides of the shape. It's almost like the line that outlines the shape. I mark the sides with a dash like this so that I know that I've already counted this side. A side is one side of a shape. Here we have one side, and here we have another side. They meet together at this point on top called the vertex. A vertex is the point where two sides meet each other. So two-dimensional shapes have sides and vertices. They don't have flat surfaces or edges or vertices the same way. They have sides and vertexes that are different. What 2D shape is this? You probably all know that this shape is a triangle. We know this shape. But how did it get its name, triangle? Well, in order to figure out the name of the shape, we have to count the sides and vertices. Shapes get their names based on the number of sides and vertices that they have. Let's see if we can count the sides and vertices to figure out why this shape is called a triangle. Count the sides and vertices with me. I'm going to mark the sides with a dash so that I can keep track of the sides I've already counted. And I'm going to mark the vertices with a circle so that I can keep track of the vertices that I've counted. I'm going to start with the sides. Here we go. Here's a side, 1. Here's another side, 2. And here's a third side, 3. These dashes help me know that I counted all the sides and I didn't miss any of them. So I know that we have 3 sides. Now let's count the vertices. Remember, a vertice is where 2 sides meet and form a point. Here is a side, and here's another side. They meet here at this point, our first vertice. Here's another vertice, 2. Here's another one, 3. This shape has 3 vertices. Because it has 3 sides and 3 vertices, it's called a triangle. Tri stands for 3. This shape is called a triangle because it has 3 sides, 3 vertices, and 3 angles. Don't worry about angles right now. We'll learn that tomorrow. So anytime you see a shape that has 3 sides and 3 vertices, no matter what it looks like, it's always a triangle. Let's try another shape. This shape might not be as easy to figure out because you've probably never really seen this mountain-looking shape before. But if we count the sides and vertices, we can figure out what it's called. I'm again gonna make those dashes to count my sides. Let's count the sides and vertices. We'll always start with the sides. So here's my first side. It starts here and it goes all the way to here. My first side, number 1. Now here's my second side, 2. Here's my third side, 3. And here's my last side, 4. You have to really look closely and notice that right here, the shape changes directions. This side ends and then a new side starts and goes in this direction. Even though it's hard to see, it's there. So there are 4 sides in this shape. Let's count the vertices now. Here's our first vertice. It's where this line or this side and this side meet each other. I'm going to follow this line until I get to my next vertice. Here's another vertice, 2. I'm going to keep following until I get to the next point. 3, 4, and I've already counted that one because it's circled. So we also have 4 vertices. Anytime that a shape has 4 sides and 4 vertices, no matter what it looks like, it is called a quadrilateral. Can you repeat that with me? Quadrilateral. This word quad stands for 4. It kind of sounds like the word cuatro in Spanish, which is also the number 4. So anytime a shape has 4 sides and 4 vertices, no matter what it looks like, it is called a quadrilateral. Let's try another one. What 2D shape is this? Well, let's do what we always do. Let's count the sides and vertices to figure that out. Here we go. I'll start with the sides and I'll make dashes. 1. So I started here and I found this one side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This shape has 5 sides. Now let's count the vertices. Remember again, a vertice is where 2 sides meet. Here's one vertice where this side and this side meets each other. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This shape has 5 vertices. Now, anytime a shape has 5 sides and 5 vertices, no matter what it looks like, it is called a pentagon. A pentagon is always a shape with 5 sides and 5 vertices. Let's try another one. What 2D shape is this? Well, again, let's do what we always do. Let's count the sides and vertices to figure that out. Starting with the sides, I'm going to make dashes. Here we go. Here's our first side. Starts here and it ends here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This shape has 6 sides. Now let's count the vertices where the 2 sides meet. 1, this side and this side meet here to make a vertice. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This shape has 6 vertices. Now, anytime that a shape has 6 sides and 6 vertices, no matter what it looks like, it is called a hexagon. You can remember this by thinking of the word 6. 6 has an X in it, just like hex has an X in it. So if you can't remember what a shape with 6 sides and 6 vertices is called, think about the word 6. It has an X in it, just like hexagon. Okay, so anytime a shape has 6 sides and 6 vertices, no matter what it looks like, it is called a hexagon. So here are all the 2D shapes we learned today. We learned that if a shape has 3 sides and 3 vertices, it is always called a triangle. We learned if a shape has 4 sides and 4 vertices, it's called a quadrilateral. Now, you might be thinking, wait a minute, that's a rectangle. Yeah, you're right, that is a rectangle. But a rectangle, because it has 4 sides and 4 vertices, it's also a quadrilateral. Its real math name is quadrilateral. Then, anytime a shape has 5 sides and 5 vertices, it's called a pentagon. And last, if a shape has 6 sides and 6 vertices, it is always called a hexagon. Very good, friends. So head on over to Think Central and do your practice and homework for lesson 11.4, and I'll see you again tomorrow. Bye, friends.